Employees at the New York Times up in arms over the company's return to office policies. A reporter for Semaphore Media tweeting in an internal note, the New York Times says most staff must come in 3 days a week. While managers won't check attendance, newsroom leaders will periodically look at badge swipe date to review attendance trends, and may flag individuals with particularly low attendance. 3 days a week, not every day. Still, two major unions, the New York Times Guild and the Times Tech Guild, which represent the majority of employees, have sent cease-and-desist letters to management following the badge swipe monitoring announcement, arguing that the policy violates employees' contracts. It doesn't mention badge swipes as a method to track in-office attendance, or in other words, we don't want to come into the office even 3 days a week. Let's bring back our panel, former Trump campaign surrogate Scottie Nell Hughes, John Fugelsang, host on SiriusXM's Progress channel, and Larry Sharpe. He's the host of the Sharpe Way Libertarian Party candidate from New York. John, do you view this the same way I do? It just seems like a lot of whining to me.
This is very awkward for me, Dan, because my wife actually asked her job if she could come in 5 days a week to get away from me.
Yeah, well,
she's calling it remote domestic living.
Yes, exactly. That's
different kind of hybrid.
You know, we could send you around to a lot of the New York Times employees and force them to spend time with you. Well, and I think a lot of them might end up going into the office.
In this case, you know, you've got the corporation has a right to tell its employees where they will work. At the same time, the writers say that this violates the new contract they all just signed in May, so they're going to work it out. The real story here, stepping back, is that this is going to be a much more common dilemma. I mean, here in New York, we all know wonderful corporations that spend tons of money for New York real estate to own a lot of square footage, and they realize during a pandemic, we don't need to spend all this money. Just as young people are realizing, hey, with ride sharing, maybe I don't need to own a big expensive car in my garage. Workplaces are evolving before our eyes, and a lot of companies don't want to have people in the actual
If they don't want to have them, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the idea that the New York Times, a place that is supposed to be speaking for the people, right? Yeah. Talking to power. We're going to represent you. We're going to be your voice. And yet, when you look at the numbers as number two, 61% of Americans do not have jobs that can be done from home.
Yeah.
And it seems to me that when you have 61% of Americans who have jobs that can't be done from home, the idea of the New York Times employees whining about the fact that they have to come in 3 days a week, Larry?
It is insane to me. I mean, I'm the guy who cannot stand government mandates at all.
Right.
But this isn't government.
Yeah.
This is a company deciding that they want you to show up, and you should probably show up. But there's a second piece here. The reason why this is a big battle is, to your point, New York City wants you back in that office space. They can't get rid of that stuff fast enough, right? The commercial space is falling apart. They can't wait. So they're putting pressure on their people going, please come back in, please come back in, please come back in. But to your point, it's hypocritical, because the New York Times is going out of its way to say how we got to lock everything down, nobody come to work, nobody come to work, nobody come to work. So now this is a self-inflicted wound. This wasn't evolving. They forced it with 2 years of lockdown. This should have been a slower, better process for us to change how the work environment changed.
So I have to wonder if they're getting the same amount of work.
There's a vaccine, come back to work. That seems like their point, and I agree with it.
Well, my question is this evolving because they're not getting the same standard of work that they were getting pre?
Good question.
Is that the reason why they're having the question? Is this evolving because they're worried about something like ChatGPT writing their reporters' articles for them? So if you have them in the office writing, you know where they're getting it.
New York Times reporters need to do their journalism in this particular building,
but it's not just the journalists
trying to justify the square footage they pay for.
But again, it's 3 days a week.
I'm with you.
It's not, again, if they were saying, you know, 5 days, 9 to 5, it's 3 days a week.
Yeah.
I mean, and again,
this debate's not going away.
No, I understand. That's why we're talking about it.
And
I find it fascinating.
which age groups complaining about it? They have done a study that shows that those that are 30 and younger are obviously more wanting a flexible workspace.
Right.
For those of us that have been used to having a job every day, we have to report, a building we have to report to.
I was interested. 69% of remote employees that work from home does not actually eliminate or significantly reduce burnout, because 69% of remote employees say that they're experiencing burnout.
My teenagers packed my bag to come to New York today. They were like, it's time for you to go, and I was happy to get on the plane. So
right, well, we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.